than on Skyscraper, one of the APAC-based maps. And of course, we haven't talked about this yet, Raven, but it's somebody's birthday today.
Certainly is. Mr. Onigiri himself. Happy birthday to him. Hopefully everybody just swarms him with happy birthdays in the chat. And look, maybe it's the birthday buff that will get Elevate over the line.
21 years old today. To be young and full of life and cracked at video games.
Yeah, but, you know, as you get older, it fades. So that's the double-edged sword of a birthday in the esports world.
Like, if this is one area where I will defer to your expertise.
Yeah, look. No comment.
Hey, you were a pro player for a lot later than 21 years old. So, like, true. I'll give you that one. All right, no shenanigans. Let's dig into Skyscraper. The first time we've seen it in APAC South, though, of course, we've seen it a couple times in other regions. It's actually made a couple appearances in APAC North. At least 3 or 4 matches have been played on it so far. I know you've watched a couple. I'm super keen. I watched a lot of Skyscraper, obviously played it a little bit in ranked, haven't seen any scrims or anything like that, so I'm super excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah, look, most people probably wouldn't believe it if you haven't been watching all of APAC, but it's actually the equal first most played map in APAC North at the moment.
There you go.
Tied with Oregon. It's seen a lot of play, and look, I quite like it. I actually think it's quite an enjoyable map to watch. Maybe it's just because it's really fresh compared to the others, but I think there's a lot of variance in terms of how sites are, I guess, played out in a way. At the moment in APAC North, just to give a statistical perspective, overall it's a 58% defense win rate in APAC North. So I guess you can kind of lean into that. It's probably going to be similar here in APAC South.
Yeah, I mean, there are, of course, some playstyle discrepancies, but I think that more so than the entire region or subdivision of the region having playstyles, it tends to be just teams that have specific playstyles, right? And they're also ever evolving, as is the meta. Attacker repicks come in this season. We've also had a huge slew of roster changes which have shaken up the playstyles. So you look at Invictus, for example. When you drop a player like Luna Metal, you are no longer going to be playing the same way. Like, he is someone that brings a certain kind of structure to a team. IG are going with the star-studded roster these days. That's their goal. They got Speakeasy, Hysterics, and Jigsaw are the main fraggers at the epicenter of this roster. Mentalist and Nate providing a lot of the support. But they'll start on defense. And it's really Elevate that are the ones with the question marks, of course. They've hit amazing heights at Six Invitational. They even took 2 maps, 2-0 victory over TSM, the eventual world champions in the group stage. But they have not been the same this season.
Certainly have not. They're trying to get their way back to that area, and I think taking out IG would be a massive statement for Elevate in terms of moving back towards being considered, you know, a top 4 team, because at the moment they're kind of in this middle grounds. And they're going to have a chance to prove themselves on the attack. Now, I really like the lineup from Elevate here. It's bold, you know, bringing the Ashe, bringing the Nook. You know, they feel fairly niche purposes these days in an attack lineup, but they're also comfort fragger ops. And I think that's a great sign for Elevate. You know, they used to be known as a fairly aggressive and really sharp team, but it feels like they've started to bring in some structure. And now DCH, he's bringing in that opening kill.
Yeah, and guess who? It's Speakeasy. You knock on the door and you take him out. And if there's any player in the entire league you want to take out early, that's the man. The objective best player in the league. Arguably best in APAC right now. He sits head and shoulders above the rest. 1.64 rating at the moment. The second highest KD in the league. And he's gone.
Certainly is, and Elevator just absolutely backing it up here. They've been able to find the first 3 picks, in fact. IG entirely on the back foot on this defense to open up this game. Elevate certainly have come ready to swing, and all like that, it's on Nate, and all like that, he's gone. Elevate with a really dominant first round.
What a phenomenal round for Sapper as well. Believe he ended it with 2 kills. A great entry on the Ashe for the player who's usually the support player on this roster. Fantastic way Elevate kick off this match, ripping the rug out from under Invictus's feet, taking side control away from them, while IG still had roamers left abroad as well. Really good start, especially considering, like you said, statistically, so far this Skyscraper seems to be a defender-sided map.
Attackers need to locate and
certainly does. So
Birthday buff.
Deploying my trump card.
Electroclaw is on. Proximity alarm deployed.
Going straight back to Tea Room Karaoke though. Now, typically, like back in the day, obviously Skyscraper has changed a lot, but back in the day, pre-rework, this was the most picked bomb site on the map. In comp and in ranked. In ranked, this does tend to be, from my experience, the primary bomb site as well. And so it's interesting, it's nice to see that translating over to comp. I think that these days, in terms of a lot of the fundamentals of the macro strategy, ranked and comp are becoming a bit more similar. That's not to say that I know ranked has a bit of a bad rep when people sometimes use it as a synonym for disorganized. That's not necessarily the case here in comp.
Well, Hysterics, at least this time, first 30 seconds in, he's found the opening pick for IG, so it's going to give them a position of comfort, actually having a kill on the board for one, but also just to take out on a gear in that first 30 seconds. Birthday buff not in effect anymore, apparently, but either way, it's a much better start now from IG.
Yeah, I mean, IG, I think they just identified some of the methods that they played the round incorrectly, exposed themselves a little bit too early. But overall, same strat, right? At a macro level, exact same 5 operators being taken. Elevate now looking to take control of the opposite side of the map. Sapper gets in the building, doesn't make too much noise in doing so, climbs underneath that barricade, picks up the default cam. Likely live droned up from info above. Mentalist can take down Mark. So this is a bit scary. Oh no, Mr. Punch, what are you doing? IG have picked apart Elevate. Just DCH left on the site window. They will absolutely know where he is. Minute and a half to sit out, chill out, and regroup.
And to reload. That's going to take about seconds. No, yeah, look, definitely take a bit of a pseudo timeout here. You know, run arounds, maybe try grab diffuser. He can certainly try and make a play happen, but it's going to be tough. I think the much more likely scenario is that we're just going to be seeing flawless rounds traded in these first couple on the same bomb site. Either way, it's been a really good adaptation here from IG. Oh, DCH lucky to be alive off that one. But no, this is great to see IG bounce back so quickly.
Trying to find the first pick. How much would it mean? IG aren't going to feed him. Surely not. No doubt they're hungry for the pick, but you can just see they've rotated over to where the diffuser is laying. They know exactly what they need to do, and that's not much. Oh, style points from Nate. Look at this. The 360, the drop down, and the one-tap revolver headshot. That is style points.
That is style
Respect
points.
that. Do you get extra round points on the board for that? Do you? I feel like you should.
Definitely not round points. Maybe some extra points in Twitch chat or something.
Yeah, there you go. How about this? Nate gets a shout out. Go follow Nate on Twitter. I don't know what his Twitter is, but go follow it. I'll find it for him. There you go. Go follow Nate R6 on Twitter with 2 A's. There you go. That's what he gets for the star points.
Nailed it. What a champ. It's good you brought up Nate though, because I feel like I think similar to the storyline we've talked about with OJ Rad as being a bit of a slept-on roster move. I feel like Nate is almost that. I think he doesn't have the same caliber you think about when you talk about fraggers like Jigsaw, Speakeasy, even Hysterics to an extent. But Nate has been fragging in a role of his own, and he has been on fairly hard support roles. His most played operators at the moment being Ace and Smoke. Not really known for being top fraggers. He's still maintaining a positive KD. He's got a really solid survival rating, actually at 40%. And he's also on 5 plants for the league, which is, I believe, it's disappeared on me. Where is it? He's equal first. No, he's second behind Digital. But regardless, that's still a really strong stat because it means that these attacks are coordinating really well for IG to actually get to the plant stage.
He's also played 1 less match than Digital as well. So by the end of today, he may have flipped that stat around and sit on top. Absolutely. Like let's be frank. Like if you look at this roster of IG players, you're like Mentalist, from Fnatic, former, Aerowolf player, Hysterics, Jigsaw, the rookie of the year from OCN, Speakeasy, and then Nate. Like who is this Nate guy? Right? Like I think he's the sore thumb that stands out on this roster. But he has absolutely shown up massively. He had the ace clutch as well against Fury on Bank. That was huge. He also has a lot of experience. He's played in Order during their tenure in APAC South last year before unfortunately being relegated. Luckily, he found his way back into the league.
So he did. And also, it's really seeming like he's fitting in great so far for IG, doing his bit. But speaking of doing their bit, Elevate, first minute, making some really good progress, getting in below, getting some vertical plays. But unfortunately, once again, on Agiri, starting to feel like a birthday debuff or something at the moment, Dev. He's had 2 rounds in a row as the opening death.
Yeah, guess who it was? It was Nate, the guy we were gassing up. He finds the pick. Not sure exactly where that one was, but Elevate can say that they have made some progress. They've managed to use an exothermic charge to breach open the main exhibition or office wall on the exterior, thanks to, of course, Sapper going below and clearing the electroclaws off of it. I think Invictus have a pretty clear idea of what Elevate are doing at the moment, though. And for the most part, this is an anchor game. IG just sitting back on site and waiting for Elevate to push up.
I think that's the play as well. You don't want to overextend. You don't want to give them anything too early. We saw it in round 1. Once Elevate banks a couple of picks, they just kept that momentum rolling and just absolutely barreled over IG. So you don't want to be giving them away too easy. However, Hysterics has fallen to DCH, but time's really ticking away here for Elevate in this attack. Less than 50 seconds to go. Started to get some decent control, but you see the IG members all fairly spread out around site. Can be a little bit tricky to try and isolate these as well, as it's a bit squishy, trying to push up these main stairs or trying to push in through Shrine, which at the moment Elevate have no control over. I feel like with this positioning and with the timing, IG are certainly in the box seat to potentially close out this round.
Oh, Mentalist has a great spot as well to defend against the stairs with the shoddy. Feels the pressure from below, but still finds the pick. Elevate, 20 seconds left, and not a lot of avenues from which to go forth. Nate sprays down one. Mr. Punch on for the trade, but struggling to find anything else. Mentalist, a 3rd kill on for the round. The bottom-rated player on the team shows that he is also worth his salt. A great round from IG.
Really good round at that. Finding these opening kills, and I think it was kind of the point I was making, right? They're not overextending. I think it's really great from IG. They've, I guess, learnt from that first round. Just don't let Elevate get momentum in the rounds. They will absolutely ride that through. And I think especially on Skyscraper, you just want to play to that advantage. You know, that's a pretty squishy site to kind of push. Even though Elevate had the external wall open, you still generally want to have control of Shrine or Terrace to really pinch those defense positions, or even have really good control in from the lobby in towards office, but Elevate had none of that. And so with IG not giving up those picks, they were able to shut out those entry points completely. And it was really hard for Elevate to try and get an execute.
And that's something that stood out to me about IG's defense just there. It is a fairly claustrophobic site, like you were saying, and the 2 rooms that are actually part of the bomb site are fairly small. And there's not a lot of connectors around it, but you have Garden, and you've got Shrine or Dragon, which are right next to the bomb site, and in some ways a lot more defensible positions. So Invictus actually extended their hold into those rooms. You had soft walls between the bomb site and Dragon and Garden, and instead Invictus were kind of weaving their way between both of them. Elevate never hard contested that map control, so they really struggled to establish a foothold and fire out these Invictus players. Now once again, IG have an extension. This time it's vertically, and that's to be expected. When the bomb site is downstairs and the soft floor above it, the defenders are going to be having a hell of a lot of presence up above that bomb site, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. In a way, this is going to look a lot like that defense we just saw, even though the site is actually underneath where it used to be.
Yeah, and it definitely gives you a couple of decisions as you're on the attack side, how you really want to push this. Do you want to really try and flush out that vertical control? Certainly critical, and probably most people's default right is to try and clear out that first floor, or the top floor I should say, get that vertical control, flush out players on site, and then kind of do a plant. You know, that's a standard procedure for a lot of ground floor sites. But there's a couple of linear ways to approach this, you know, through service and try and get some pressure in through the lobby as well. You might be able to get a clear in through bathroom that way and some pressure into bedroom from the external window. It's certainly harder, but it's achievable. So yeah, there is definitely some flexibility with the way to attack this, but I think something that shines through a lot on Skyscraper is it requires a bit of coordination to pull together. And unfortunately, it's going to require a lot of players on the board, which IG is doing a really good job of preventing right here for Elevate.
Yeah, already the opening pick so far this match, every single opening kill has been converted to a round win. So that's a very impactful one for Hysterics to claim with that UMP on Castle. Nate's also got the cardiac sensor, which is going to be huge for getting information to his team. Even Mr. Punch's health resistance reduction will not save him from that cardiac sensor.
Not, and he has just some slight info there on Nate's position. Nate doesn't seem to be aware that he's just around the corner. It could be a pivotal engagement. You have to also wonder whether Nate's going to get much more info on this side. I think if I'm Elevate, you know, hard isolate, get that frag, try not to lose anybody to it.
Oh.
And then focus on the push. And unfortunately, Mr. Punch whiffs those first shots. And Nate's actually going to find one onto Sapphire. This is so unfortunate for Elevate on this push. Nate is really putting up a good fight here.
Oh, he's popping off, and he's about to find a second one. Surely he gets it. No! Mr. Punch finally takes him down, and just like that, Elevate have the man advantage. Mentalist is down on the ground, and Elevate have 3 players to iG's 2. They're going to try and go for this res, bring Mentalist back up to speed with the situation. Speakeasy and Jigsaw, arguably 2 of the best fraggers on the team in the region, who are yet to really find themselves in a significant way onto the scoreboard, will now be relied upon for IG. Elevate don't have a lot of options. Invictus have so much control upstairs, above the bomb site, with the ability to deny any plant. Elevate have no choice but to go deep, to flush out, to find these players, to go for kills. Mr. Punch and Mark, his partner in crime. It's all on Speakeasy. The #1 player in the league. Is that C4 enough? No, it is not. Now a retake, jumping down the stairs. It's a 1v1. Mark versus Speakeasy. After planting the diffuser, he's got to hold it. With the 5.56, Mark threading the needle. Speakeasy nearly wins it. We know he can do it, and he does. Oh my God. This is why he is the best player in the region. Speakeasy with the 1v3 clutch.
He just doesn't lose those. I don't know about you, Dev, but I just felt watching that, I'm like, he's just not losing it. I felt such confidence that he was about to clutch that. It's actually insane, and he is that consistent at closing out positions like that, getting himself in, I don't know what it is, the right positions. He's obviously super sharp with his aim. It's just ridiculous how often he can pull off these plays.
His aim is just unreal. Like, his game sense, he always knows where and when to pre-fire, right? Like, his crosshair placement, everything about his mechanics. Now, when you die to Speakeasy, you don't see him on your screen. If you do, you're lucky. And you might only see him for a fraction of a second. It is unreal how good Speakeasy is and how damn consistent he is. I mean, he was only on 1 kill up until that round. he just nearly top fragged the game just by finding a 1v3 clutch. I mean, that is, you want to talk about impact frags? That is the pure definition right there. He put the team on his back in the last couple of moments of that round. He won a retake against 3 players with a 1-speed operator. Like, it's crazy. Like, you just can't compete.
Definitely tough. You do not want to be missing a single bullet against Speakeasy because you will be punished. And you also don't want to be missing your positioning. I guess if we want to kind of bring it out a little bit more macro here on Elevate, in a post-plant situation, 1v3, sure enough, they lost the first player to Speakeasy, but the final 2, I don't know, set up crossfire, try and figure out a way that you can't enable those things to happen. Just credit to Speakeasy, you know, he really does such a good job at isolating 1v1s when he's in those clutch situations. Also, unless Jackie we got a clutch earlier, which I don't think I saw, Speakeasy is equal most clutches in the league right now on 3. It's 3 1vx's. It's, yeah, look, it's certainly something you want on your side, that's for sure.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, if you could pick up Speakeasy, you would. Like, that's really the beginning and the end of it. And I'm surprised. I mean, I'm sure he's had some international offers. And if he hasn't, then that is the biggest oversight of Rainbow Six roster pickups I've seen. This man, I mean, I don't know what he's on, but you probably should double it if you want to keep him.
Yeah, he's been putting in work, not just this stage, but consistently in other stages. But it's good to see that being persistent. Now, Elevate, they've got quite the task ahead of them. We talked a lot about, at least in APAC North, you know, Skyscraper has been trending defense-sided. And right here, Invictus are doing a really good job with their defenses. Elevate got to try not to let that train get away from them. But again, on Agiri,
Who's that?
That's so unfortunate. Again, I'm starting to think we called it the birthday buff in the first round or so, but it's not feeling like that at the moment.
No, it's not. But, you know, he's playing against Speakeasy, so can you really blame him? I don't think I get a single kill if I played a TDM against Speakeasy. That's all I'm saying.
Attackers bomb diffuser.
And that's not a reflection of me, I'm telling you right now. The opening kill has once again gone in the side of IG, as has the second kill. And that 100% conversion rate is looking to continue. Elevate, gasping for air, as the gas canister chokes out the entrance onto this top floor site. Here comes Mr. Punch with the Nook, the presence reduction. Can he find this kill and the opening? Hysterics goes down. Is the trade on for IG? Mr. Punch has his way inside. Sapper has found one as well. And this is looking very, very good for Ella as they start this plan. Can they lock it down? Jigsaw for one. Jigsaw can't see the planter, and he gets taken out. Mentalist and Speakeasy now in the 2v2. But the best player in the region is still alive. And here he comes, but he goes down. It's not enough this time. Speakeasy shut out. And Elevate find their second round.
Unbelievable from Elevate. They did a really good job turning that around. I didn't feel like they were going to be in an advantageous position. It really all came off that cheeky little sneak up from Mr. Punch up the back stairs there to get the frag into Karaoke. It really opened it up. And then there was a really nice pick as well from Sapper in towards Geisha. It really enabled that Karaoke plant to go down. Look, unfortunate from Jigsaw. His weapon sight blocked the chance to take out the Nook player. I think that would have changed how that kind of progressed. But regardless, full credit to Elevate. They made that work, and it was a very narrow window for them to push into.
Do you know what optic Jigsaw was using? I think he was using the 1.5. I reckon if he was using Hollow B, he wins that. I'm telling you, Hollow B is where it's at. I am a Hollow B stan to the day I die. Hollow B is where it's at. You heard it here first. If Jigsaw had the Hollow B, IG would be up 4-1.
Is that certified DevMata advice there?
Either that or IG need a Specsavers sponsorship.
No, I think you're right. I think it was definitely the 1.5. And yeah, look, I think fan favorite is certainly Hollow B. But exciting here, Dev. First Skyscraper, we've been able to cast an APAC South, and we could be looking at a 3-3 half here, which I think would be very fitting because it's been a little bit back and forth. Has kind of felt like IG have had more of the upper hand, but at the same time, if you think about it, Speakeasy to get that 1v3 clutch. So that's one round that could have gone to Elevate side. And then there was a previous round, I can't remember which one now off the top of my head, that Elevate really had their teeth into. In general, they felt like they've been in a lot of these rounds. So I'm kind of hopeful as Elevate go to their defense half that they could kind of bring this one back.
Yeah, no doubt like this is a close contest, even though it seems like from the height, IG are well ahead. Absolutely not the case. That said, if you look back at IG's previous games, how many of Invictus's matches could we have said that about? Oh, you know, it would have been close if it wasn't for Nate's 1v5 or Speakeasy's 1v3. Like, that is just the way that this team operates. They are expected to get 3 clutches per match because that's just the power of the roster that you've got, the individual prowess of these 5 players.
It's definitely good to have on your side for sure. Now, Invictus, important for them. 4-2 half is certainly what they will be wanting right now. Talked about it a lot statistically at the moment in APAC North. It kind of leans more on the defender side. And I will say, Office Exhibition is the most defender-sided site so far in APAC North. 14 rounds at 79% defender win rate. That's actually huge.
Well, Elevate are going to try and respond to that with some vertical play. We've seen them do this before. Failed to actually make an execute work, however. Where are those Electroclaws is what Sapper is thinking to himself right now. Can't spot out. You know, if I could hedge a bet, I'd say, oh no, it's just at the bottom of the wall. And Sapper's taken down by Nate. There you go. I was about to theorycraft where these amazing Electroclaw spots were, but no, it was just at the bottom of the wall, and it doesn't even matter now.
Yeah, unfortunate. That's a pretty important player in this attack system. That being said, the time for that player to be important was definitely the last 2 minutes. Because coming into the last minute, it's going to be hard to continuously be making those vertical plays. Not sure it really ended up putting much pressure onto Elevate, but At least Jigsaw been taken out by DCH. They've been able to trade it back, but they're really not giving themselves much time. Ooh. And you can see here, IG still has some really good positions, but they're really up against the ropes right now.
No Jaeger. There is a Wamai. Is there a Magnet there to protect? Mentalist pushes up now. The nade doesn't get it, but Mark from the balcony. DCH finds his third. And Nate is the last one standing. We've seen him clutch up before. We know he can do this. But is he ready? 3 Elevate players waiting for the chance to execute. Nate for the double! Could this be another ace clutch for the newest player on the roster? It is! I can't believe it! Nate, he's done it again!
Oh my lord, Nate is absolutely insane. That was just ridiculous from him. Oh, hyped up, and well, rightfully so. I can't believe what we just seen, Dev. That was an insane clutch from Nate.
That's the power of this roster is what we've been saying. I mean, 4v1 for Elevate, 15 seconds. You just got to plant. You just got to refrag, and you can't because it's Nate, and he's waiting, and he's going to take that opportunity with both hands. At this rate, not only have we seen an ace clutch. Now, it wasn't a 1v5. Yes, it was 1v4, but it was an ace, and it was a clutch. Not only have we seen one in APAC South so far in, what, 5 Playdays? We've seen 2. And not only that, they're from the same goddamn player. What are they feeding this man?
Yeah, look, I think it's just about our conversation about Nate earlier, right? Like, I feel like he's definitely one of the bigger kind of, I don't mean this in any bad way, but kind of sleeper pickup, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people, they wouldn't be expecting Nate to even be in this position in the first place because, you know, he was on order. They really struggled last year. Didn't really give him an opportunity to shine. But credit to IG, you know, they really thought that there was an opportunity there and they've gone with it. And look, it's really rewarding for them right now because he's been showing up as a support player. He's been hitting a couple of massive clutches and it's working out super well. And just, I'm still absolutely amazed that he just pulled that one out. That was insane.
I'm just utterly gobsmacked, right? But it goes to show, like, there's a reason why Invictus picked up Nate. If you look at stage 3 of last year, Nate was 3rd rated in the league, despite playing for one of the worst teams in the league in order. 3rd rated in the league for rating, behind Speakeasy and Ethan. 3rd rated for KD, behind Speakeasy and Ethan. 3rd rated for cost, behind Ethan and Nerix. 3rd for clutches as well. Tied the most clutches in the league. So I think IG knew what was up when they picked up this man.
Absolutely. And everything keeps pointing towards this super team being well justified, well built at this stage. They're doing a really good job at progressing forward. Now they've got one final kind of challenge, at least in this match, and that is to secure a solid attack half. They're still 3 rounds away from the win. And unfortunately for Mentalist, a few bullets away from Mark. And that means that Mark is going to take that opening kill there in that first minute.
It's the first opening kill that Elevate have found since the very first round of this match. Been a bit of a drought for them. They now know what it means to have a man advantage that's not in the last 15 seconds of the round. Nice one, Nate. No worries, pick up that Selma. I like this angle he's got, a very low one. He'll only see a player standing up and he'll only see the head. But he is almost never going to lose that fight. It's such a safe angle.
Definitely a tough one to contest for the defenders. Speaking of, they're under a bit of pressure here right now. Onigiri tagged up a little bit in a gunfight, and Hysterics with the Lion really putting the pressure on these defenders, kind of position around, unable to move. Coming into this last minute, IG, they're kind of getting themselves set up for something here, but they haven't been able to break through into the map control they want. They really want to get Drum. They really want to push through that Shrine side to start to put pressure into T, but there's still 2 Elevate players hanging out on that side.
For Onigiri isn't droned, this is a freebie. But I think, checking the angle now, Jigsaw is not going to fall to that one. Onigiri continues to have a very rough game and not the birthday present that he was looking for. Jigsaw very low on HP. Mr. Punch with the shotty. There's almost no way that he loses this, but Jigsaw's patience precedes him as he just lies prone. Starts to move up now. Nate lights up the kill feed once again. Mark goes down. 25 seconds left on the clock, and the shotty is enough. Mr. Punch now doing his best to try and support while separated from the rest of the roster. Sapper can't land the shot. IG once again step up massively, and their first attack is looking pretty damn good. Mr. Punch down, of course it's Nate once again. And Invictus are absolutely doing away with Elevate.
They are. Look, that was a very procedural attack from IG. You know, almost surgical in a way. They just progressed and then held their time, droned ahead, really were careful with the intel they were getting before they acted. And I really liked that because they did lose Mentalist in that first minute. You know, he went in for that entry and just unfortunately didn't get any bullets onto Mark. So they were kind of really battling from behind. But I really like that they just, stuck to their ground. They didn't rush ahead too much. And again, look, Nate really pulling his weight. A couple of really big, impactful frags to help progress that forward. He's up on 12-4 here, playing these hard support roles. It's he's having a really big game.
I mean, he's the last man alive on defense, sitting on site all by himself. And on attack, he's the guy holding the angles, doing the droning, doing the hard breach, and planting the diffuser. And yet he is still 12-4. You look at the next top fragger in the match, and it's Mr. Punch on 8, with 30% less kills than Nate has.
5 seconds
Yep.
left before insertion.
Absolutely insane.
I feel like IG are one of those teams where it's like, all right, guys,
Locate a bomb and
whose turn is it to pop off today? Oh, is it my turn? Oh, no, that was last week. It's your turn this week. Yeah, okay, you go.
That the stats actually back that up. I remember, I'm just going to get it up in front of me again here. If you look at the full stats for IG's roster, unfortunately, besides Mentalist, and look, it's not the role that he's fulfilling, I'd say, but the other 4, their ratings are all very green, right? 1.16 is the lowest, which was Nate, ironically. Speakeasy all the way up on 1.64. Fairly high cost ratings. Like, it really is just kind of like a who's going to top the table today. And it's pretty amazing when you have a team that is all high performing like that and all able to, I wouldn't call it carry because it doesn't feel like anybody's necessarily hard carried for IG. It just happens to be each Playday, you know, somebody else is at the top of the scoreboard.
I think overall, IG play well as a team. But when they don't, and when mistakes are made, or when the opponent makes a good play, and someone is left in a dire situation, they are never counted out. And that's the difference between Invictus and every other team, I think. Like, whenever Speakeasy or Nate or hell anyone on this team is in a 1vx, you think, yeah, I could see this working. And especially against Elevate. I mean, this is the team that was cursed to always lose to Invictus in important games. Was it 8 or 9 opportunities that they had? Match points, which would have sent them overseas to a major or to 6 Invitational, and they choked every single time.
Definitely a new leaf being turned for Invictus 2022. Nate,
he is.
the opening kill onto Sapphire. He's still continuing this form, and once again, IG starting the attack off on the right foot here. Starting to surround. Oh, that's a nice little shot from Mark. Looks like he's progressed back into drum. Pretty important map control. Onigiri's been able to get a pick off the back of that. Talk about Onigiri. Haven't really been able to say his name too much in this game. But suddenly, we're into this last minute. And with Elevate kind of retaking this drum position, it's really put a stop to the progress of IG.
That's it. Mark is in a very dangerous spot. But Elevate overall, they know they don't need to overextend. Nate does punish Mr. Punch for doing so. Mark, oh, what a shot. Mentalist taken out. Fortunately, Diffuser was not on that player. Nate still got it, and Nate cracks 15 kills. It's just him and Speakeasy left. Of course, Nate on for the ace once again. Speakeasy takes it, but it doesn't matter. IG are just on another level right now.
I knew it. As soon as I saw it was Nate and Speakeasy still alive, Dev, I was going to say it. I was like, they're going to win this. And actually insane they did. Nate, super cracked, got the quad kill, and then Speakeasy to back it up. And this is just quite scary at this stage. You know, Skyscraper, quite an unknown map. You know, it's really hard to read into it a little bit, but regardless, it's just continuation of dominance from IG, really. They're out to this 6-2 lead. It's on their attack phase as well. I mean, it's not like Elevator playing awful. Like, they were really in that round. They had the advantage for that last 20 seconds or so. It's just IG diff.
It's just unreal. Like, the mechanics of these players, the game sense, even just looking at the final kill cam there from Speakeasy, A quick QE to see the position. All he sees is a tight little bump in the angle where that guy's head popped up. And all he needs is a 4-bullet spray to get the job done. Quick QE out. And that's it. Round over. And the Speakeasy here is being shown up by Nate, who's got 9 more kills than him.
10 seconds to go.
I mean, well, I'm going to try and do some quick maths, right? Nate is on 16 kills. The rest of Invictus combined is on 18 kills. Nate is nearly out-fragging the entire rest of his goddamn team.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. And look, I did some quick math. It doesn't paint the same kind of picture, but Elevate, 25 kills between them. You know, that's really not that much of a difference. Nate on 16, and that's over 8 rounds. That's ridiculous. But game's not over yet. Of course, Elevate still have a chance here. They could just go a 4-0 kind of next 4 rounds and push us to OT. But I tell you what, it feels like it's tough because even when they're in such a winnable position, can just never count out some of these IG players.
And Elevate are the first team to admit that they are very momentum-based. Great nitro from Mark. And that might grab some of that momentum back on their side. Speakeasy down. But it's not the player that you're looking for. No, it's not. The player you're looking for is Nate. He's the one you want to finish off. He's the one you want to get out of the game because he isn't exactly carrying. But, I mean, he's certainly lifting some very heavy weights right now.
Definitely is. And even then, like, to put credit back on the rest of their players, they can all step up as well. Like, they've all had some quiet games, but I think it's just because Nate has just gone absolutely huge. So, yeah, it's never ending, but almost halfway through the round. And once again, IG being very methodical with this. I think that's a really big sticking point for me is they're not over-aggressing on these attacks. Skyscraper can be tough and squishy at the best of times. But unfortunately, it's not really going too well for them this time. Onigiri's managed to find Jigsaw. So they are once again at a man disadvantage. But as we've come to learn a lot, can't quite count them out yet.
Mentalist makes a great entry with the Ying. Traded back, though. And Elevate have the advantage. Nate, of course, has to get his name in the kill feed at some point. 2v3 now. You certainly wouldn't count out IG. Nate down on the ground, though. It's GG. It's all over. He's dead. I'm sure that's what Elevate would love to be saying right now. But hysterics, I mean, once upon a time, he was the most feared player in APAC. And the DMR, I mean, Onigiri knows that this is a formidable weapon. Very low on HP, though. Hysterics, he has the time, but does he have the means to get the job done? Diffuser so close, yet so far. His smoke grenade caught out by the ADS. Second one goes through. With the way these players are grouped up, you've got to wonder, is this possible? Couple of sprays from the SMG-12 could do the job, but Mark's there for it. Elevate finally stem the bleeding, and they find their first defense round.
I think that's a really good point. Their first defense rounds. It's pretty insane that we've gotten this deep, and that's the first time they've been able to turn a defense into their side. But at the end of the day, really good job. They held some really nice crossfires on that entry, and they made it really tough for IG to actually push forward and get any kind of meaningful map control. I think ultimately that was a really big win for Elevate, as well as the fact they finally won some opening gunfights. I think that's pretty important. You know, Onigiri in particular, we talked about it a lot. He's been a part of a lot of opening engagements and not necessarily for the better. So this time around, it's really good from Elevate. It was Mark in particular getting that opening kill.
And Mark's stepping up. It's great to see. In fact, the 2 top fraggers on Elevate are actually the 2 new kids on the block, previously from Sharper Esport. These guys had never played at this level, at a regional level before, just at Nationals. Of course, they played in the relegations to try and earn their spot here. Were actually knocked out in the end by, I believe it was the Rufflecopter guys knocked them out. So that's Boydie and OJ's old team, who have now found their own way onto APAC South rosters. We've seen a lot of a churn of national level players coming up into the regional leagues and really having a great showing. Jigsaw would be another big name, of course. The Rookie of the Year from Oceanic Nationals in 2021 for Bliss, now joining the big leagues. Being shown up, though, by his Australian brother of Nate, who's got 14 more kills than him.
Yeah. Oh, I guess one thing is, the longer Elevate keep this going, the better chance Nate might have for some kind of kill record or something ridiculous. But look, I think IG will certainly be hunting to finish this as soon as possible. This is an opportunity for them. Though, on a tough site, again, this is the one that, at least in APAC North, is trending to be the most defender-sided. In fact, it's 79% win rate so far. And if we look back on Elevate's defense side, it was actually... no, not Elevate's defense side. What am I saying? IG's defense side. It was 100% defended both times. So
Yeah, one of those was a 1v4 ace from Nate. So little asterisk there, but
Yeah.
you know, a round is a round, right? Mentalist and Jigsaw now trying to isolate Mark, who has proven to be a thorn in their side. The Elevate have done a pretty good job at holding that position in drum before, but not so any longer. Mentalist finds the opener for IG once again.
Sapper, though, this could be not expected from IG. Oh, been spotted on a drone now, at least. And now he's pretty isolated. He comes to scan. You're going to know exactly where he is. And what a calculated pre-fire from Mentalist. Beautifully done to cut him off. Nate, though, he's been cut down by Mr. Punch.
It's all over.
Says
Nate's dead. Pack it up, boys.
IG say otherwise, as now they've got a 4 versus 2 man advantage.
And this is where we get to see the depth of this roster shine. The rest of IG step into those shoes left behind by Nate's early demise. Speakeasy, I'm sure he would love to break double digits before Nate breaks the 20 bomb. The Lion, of course, is the cue for IG to start pushing up. Mentalist has had a great round so far, already 2 kills. Worried about that bulletproof camera staring at him in the back. That's now cleared out by Speakeasy as they try and push onto DCH.
Tight position from DCH as well. Never easy to flush in around that dragon statue. So many little lines of sights, little angles you can get. There's a perfect example of it right under the belly of the dragon itself. So it's going to be quite tough there for IG, but it is only 2 Elevate players to find. 20 seconds to do it in.
A 4v2. You'd think it's just a matter of refragging. Speakeasy gun down, DCH on a tear. Mr. Punch in for it as well. The timed peak works out for Mentalist. And now it is up to the new blood for Elevate to clutch up. Mr. Punch gets a left hook in. Can he get the right hook? Can he follow it up? He does! Mentalist goes down. And Elevate looking like they may well be back on the horse.
Really well played, and again, like I think they just knew that the strengths of their positioning, even though they're in a man disadvantage, really well held in the dragon statue, and then really well held around office from Mr. Punch. Just in general, well played from Elevate towards the end. Another one goes reeling for IG, and this is kind of what I was saying before. Even though Elevate were 4 rounds down, there is just such possibility to go 4-0 super quick on Skyscraper, and we might be able to push this to overtime.
So I think that the momentum has absolutely shifted sides. We've seen Elevate in the player cameras just there during that post-match or post-round replay. I mean, Elevate looked pretty happy, to be honest. I wasn't seeing a lot of anxiety. You know, we've seen what Onigiri is like when he's stressed. Like when he put the team on his back at 6 Invitational and got 26 kills to break the SI kill record on a single map. Like, that man was stressed. Like, that man, he was straining every muscle in his body to find kills to win the game for his team. He looks relaxed now, and that's not to say that he's not ready to play. I think that you need to be relaxed, especially when, you know, Onigiri, right? He's died more than any other player in the match. He's died every single round. You need to just not let it get to you. You need to have a bit of a laugh. You need to sit back, take a sip of water.
All right, IG, can they end it on this round, Dev? 7-4 the scoreline, or are they going to push it all the way? It's certainly going to be a scary sight. You know, Elevate win this round. Suddenly it's 5-6. It's suddenly not a very comfortable position. And I like this from IG already, wasting no time at all to enter the building and just try and get this early map control on this top floor east side. But of course, the side is Kitchen Barbecue.
Couple of operator switch-ups as well for the attacking side. The Lion's still present. The Twitch Sledge making their appearances, and that that Sledge rather, is fantastic for Mentalist, easily clearing off these castle barricades without expending any util. Wow, I'm amazed that Sapper found that kill there. Hysteric's able to trade it back, but still, it's a pretty significant blow for Mentalist to go down for IG.
Definitely is, and very lucky Sapper was even able to get that trade. It was a very high-risk play there. Super aggressive. Obviously, IG caught off guard, and it was enough to enable that to happen. But now here comes a really critical step. They really want to get this vertical control. They want to try and take Geisha, which means they're going to have to take him through Drum. Still Karaoke and T to deal with as well. But you can see there are 2 players trying to hold this down for Elevate. In fact, 3 actually trying to hold this vert position, and that is a beautiful drone.
The power of the yellow ping can come into play here for Nate. If he spots a player, he could get the wallbang. Hysteric's also a couple of steps from the objective, trying to bait out a peek with the fake sprint. I really like that from him. IG trying to break through, but Nate actually loses his life in Geisha. Gets shot straight on back after he tried to go for the wallbang. IG dropping like flies. Elevate seemed to be pretty good here.
Definitely looking in a very comfortable position. We've got 50 seconds now to also try and bleed out from IG. Getting a lot of red pings. The Speakeasy has also found Mr. Punch, one of the impactful players from Elevate. So this is certainly going to make it a bit more comfortable, but still a man disadvantage for IG and a lot of pressure as they come into this last 40 seconds.
Oh, no! Jigsaw! He's got to win that. Okay, Onigiri. Okay, Onigiri. We've got to see the player reaction here. This is a... Man's got to be laughing after that one. Onigiri, to go back of this tactical pause, what are they going to have to show for it? They need to crack some of these attacks. Now, they'll have a pretty solid idea of what the objective is going to be. As for Elevate, Exhibition and Kitchen bomb sites are both locked. So Tea Room is on the agenda. What is IG going to do about it?
Yeah, what is IG going to do indeed? See what they've got up their sleeves. Now, Karaoke Tea, it's not the easiest of bomb sites, but they did win it back in round 7. So, look, that's something. And it wasn't a clutch, so that's something as well. But I think it's going to be a tough one. Look, I think you could... I don't want to put it on one person's shoulders, but, you know, Nate has gone a little bit quiet in the last few rounds here, Dev.
When was the last time he found a kill is my question.
Yeah.
I feel like...
6-2,
in the rounds that Elevated won, I don't think he's found a kill.
Yeah, I think round 8 was probably the last time. You're right. So last 3, but look, again, it's not on his shoulders, right? We already talked about it from the IG sides in a much more positive perspective. All their players can stand up. They're all insane. So it's definitely not all on Nate's shoulders. This is definitely a really big indicator for IG as a roster now. This is the time where like they're really being challenged. They had a solid advantage. It started to slip away. So, all right, time to regather and figure out what's going wrong.
Well, it's a map clear for Invictus, and so far not met with any contest. As the drones go out, the default cam is taken care of. Mentalist is on the entry. This is not just a once-off. This is pretty consistent here. Unusual, to say the least. Now the drones slow down as IG find themselves at a very advanced position, trying to clear out Dragon and Drum. That is the next portion of the map that they're going to try to maintain control of, but it's going to be very difficult.
Definitely is going to be very difficult. You can see here Elevate with some really tough positions. Onigiri in particular, he's playing Wamai, he's got magnets, he's got 2 ADSs, and he's got the shield for the info, but Sophia right around the corner. Potential opportunity to swing, but if he's not careful, he's going to lose the gunfight. No, he doesn't. Mr. Punch actually is the one that cleaned it up, but that was a little bit scary. I thought Mentalist was about to get the jump on him, and that would have been devastating for Elevate to lose that opening pick.
What a great display of teamwork, though, from Mr. Punch and Onigiri to support each other in holding that position. They maintain control. Onigiri now, 2 ADSs plus the Wamai discs. There's no way this shield is going anywhere. And he can just continue to hold on. Jigsaw ever so patient. Knows he won't be able to clear this. So he's just got to hold the angle. 50 seconds left. And not going to lie, Raven, I feel an overtime coming on.
Me too. This is definitely a tough position for IG to bring back. But they've got some decent positioning here. It's just all about finding a clean enough entry. DCH got a very big task combined with Sapper to try and hold down Geisha. But Jigsaw, he's been able to pick off Onigiri in that shield position, and now suddenly this might be an opening for IG.
Oh no! And Mark looks away at the wrong time. Elevate.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
They've let it slip. IG have taken full advantage of the opportunity afforded to them. A 3v3 now for Invictus to close out the game. And the chance is right before them, but it's all on Speakeasy. He can't land the first shot. A 1-on-3 with absolutely no time. Gets the first one, gotta secure that kill for you. Walks straight into the crossfire, and he is a dead man walking. Elevate managed to push 4 rounds in a row for the longest streak in this match to push to overtime.
Yeah, absolutely huge from Elevate. Really digging deep in a moment where it felt like that there might have been not much hope left for them. And look at them, they're up and about, they're smiling, they're riding momentum into overtime. That's always such a powerful tool to have that momentum as you get that comeback through. And that being said, IG are the ones going to be on the defense, so they're going to be favored in this overtime, at least based on how the match has played out so far.
Now things ramp up in intensity for these teams. IG,
Diffused by attackers.
oh man, what a lead they had. This looked like it was going to be a 7-2, didn't it? Like, this was on the bucket to be the most disappointingly dominant match of the night. Now, I'm not disappointed by a dominant 7-2 by IG because I think it's still a fantastic story. But I got to admit, this is a little bit better. This is a serious treat. We've got to see astounding sights from IG, from Nate in particular. Ace clutch. We had Speakeasy's unreal 1v3 retake clutch as well. We got Nate nearly dropping 20 kills in the first 8 rounds and then not finding another kill for the next 4 in a row. I mean, if Elevate win it from now, just imagine the calamity.
Attackers are moving out to locate a
Yeah,
bomb.
look, it'd definitely be one of those games that IG will, look back on with a bit of pain and think about what could have been. They are hunting for a top seed going into playoffs. Of course, I feel it's fairly set at this stage. Not confirmed, but fairly set that they're probably going to finish top 4. They certainly feel like they're a top 2 team in APAC South. But they've got to be banking in these points to do so. Otherwise, they might find themselves in a lower seeded position, which could prove just extra challenging in the playoffs in general. Every point counts.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is a game of fine margin. And the playoffs, I mean, we've seen in the past how big, 1 round in overtime or 1 extra point on the board here or there can, what impact that can have on a seasonal performance. And of course, the 6 Invitational points as well in the long run, which will be earned at those majors through those playoff positions. You only get SI points if you make it to playoffs.
So a bit of pressure now onto Elevate to back it up on these attacks. They did such a good job going 4 in a row. Unfortunately, one of their better players of the day, Mr. Punch, he's going to be that opening death. He actually did have some really good plays on the Nook as well for Elevate back in that first half. So to lose him now, that is certainly going to be missed. And they've got 90 seconds to try and make something happen.
IG looking a lot more comfortable on their defense compared to their attack. And Sapper, man, he is so close to having a serious chance, but shut down now. The Speakeasy has furthered this man advantage. Elevator just looking lost. There's no 2 ways about it. Surely IG are going to find match point once again.
Feels like they are certainly tracking towards that. They're in such strong positions, and it's just going to be really tough for Elevate at this point without some kind of miracle big play on their side. That's a good one, though, from Onigiri taking out Nate. At least gets that man count a little bit closer.
And of course, that is doubled down upon now. Onigiri has found his feet and trawling back to a positive KD. Elevate, making their way back to a serious shot here in this match. The comeback could be real. 4 rounds in a row. Could it be 5? 3v3 with 30 seconds left on the clock. And Mentalist is the man to disrupt this push from Elevate. Jigsaw, though, finds the long angle and is looking for another Jigsaw for the double. And that is it. IG have found match point once again. And another opportunity presents itself for them to close out this match.
Once again, look, it's a defense round 1. We really are seeing the true strength of defense Skyscraper, at least at this stage. So we're going to get to see Elevate rotate across, but look, it was a really good round from IG. They just didn't really give Elevate a look in. I think in particular losing Mr. Punch a little bit earlier as the Nook, it just kind of took away some of their edge that Elevate had on some of those attack rounds. They couldn't replicate it there. And yep, once again, IG match point.
But we've seen a hell of a lot of these before. 4, in fact. 4 match points for IG that they choked. It feels like a bit of a role reversal, doesn't it? It used to be Elevate would find the match points and then choke them. And because of that, they missed out on however many majors and 6 invitational opportunities. Fortunately, they got to SI in the end, and well, they showed what they're capable of once they finally get there. But now the situation has flipped, and Invictus are the ones who are absolutely, no questions asked, the favored team. And they have had many, many opportunities to close this game. They've already lost 1 point. Are they going to lose another?
10 seconds to go.
It's a great question. This is a big attack round for them.
Left before insertion.
On to Karaoke T.
Attackers are moving to defuse
And
the bomb.
they only won it once in the attack half that they did have. It was round 7. It was when they had much more momentum. So, look, I don't know. This is a tough one to call, Dev. I think I would be willing to bet we're probably going to go see the final rounds. It feels like it's going to be a 15-round game.
Hard to put much doubt on Elevate when they've managed to make this comeback. IG, though, they have struggled so much on their attacking rounds. Absolutely pitiful attacking rounds. They started with 2 strong ones, but then the momentum shifted and Elevate started to find themselves renewed with confidence, and that's how they play right now. IG taking some map control. Nearly a minute down, and of course sweeping across the map from east to west, from Exhibition and Office across to Tea Room Karaoke. That is where Invictus begin, and they've made good control so far. But what are they going to be able to get from this point forward? There's still a lot of work to be done. Time is ticking.
Yeah, in theory, they've kind of done the easy part of the attack, right? They've confirmed with drones. Nobody on the Office Exhibition side. All right, get in, take that control straight away. Start to get some pressure in towards Drum, in towards Shrine, and start to get ready to try and take that map control, because it's a bit hard to take externally over on the west side.
Oh, no.
And it's a bit hard to push past Onigiri at this stage. He's starting to find some form. You can see he's on 11 and 12 now, stats-wise. He's really woken up, and getting that opening pick onto Jigsaw is certainly going to help Elevate.
And this is the position that we saw from Onigiri in the latter half of their defenses. And it worked so well, didn't it? You got the 1-mine, you got the shield, you got the magnets, and of course some ADSs to back it up. It's so difficult for IG to clear him. And if he doesn't overpeak, I don't think they will. Speakeasy now trying to open up this external Geisha wall and give Nate an inkling of an opportunity. But the Electroclaw is still preventing Nate from breaching it. They're going to go for topping bottoming it with the Mav, which means they're going to need some soft breach over here as well.
And that's all going to take time. If someone has to rotate or they're not ready, it's 45 seconds to go. There's not a whole lot that's going to be left for them to do. And DCH shoots that drone before it even gets a chance to get in and have a look at Geisha. This is going to be a very squishy push from IG. Some good trades coming out, Dev, but 30 seconds to go. Can Elevate push this to 7-7?
That gunfight may have just dictated this round. Onigiri getting the Bedlam Mentalist may mean that Elevate push us to round 15. Speakeasy and Nate. If there's anyone to clutch up, these are the 2 players you want. But Nate, he has struggled so much and he doesn't even find a kill. Elevate push once again. And on this incredibly defender-sided Skyscraper, Elevate have one final chance to close it out. IG have had 5 match points. And finally, Elevate have their first before them.
Yep. Well, technically they both have match point right now, right? Like, it's a bit diff, but speaking of diff, Skyscraper defense diff, yeah, we have really not seen a lot of attacking rounds won. In fact, 4 in total for the entire game, of which we've seen 14 rounds. And that means IG, they get the last round on defense. Now, you'd say they're favored. Exhibition Office has been quite the stronghold for defenses.
Defenders, protect your
Just
bombs
going
and
back,
defuse
quickly
by
looking, only won by an attacking team one of those 4 attacking win rounds. So
Yeah.
it's a strong sight to hold.
I kind of missed this at the time, but when Invictus hit overtime, when it was 6-6 and Invictus went to Tea Room Karaoke for their defense, that was a surprise. I mean, I'm looking back now. The only attacking bomb site that Elevate won was Tea Room Karaoke. So, you know, by lieu of that, Elevate haven't actually won an attack onto this bomb site, Exhibition Office, yet. They're yet to do that. And so Invictus are now going to a bomb site they have successfully defended 2 times. And
5 seconds
Elevate,
to insertion.
I mean, the pressure is really on Elevate here.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Yeah, it is. But round 6, it was an Exhibition Office defense. IG won it. That was Nate's huge clutch, the 1v4, right? So by all rights, Elevate had that one in the bag. They kind of just botched the ending because of a bit of a superstar play from Nate. So look, if they can channel some of the successes of that one, I think they've got a shot here. I feel like this is definitely feeling 50-50. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? 7-7, whatever. But like, even though defense is favored, I give Elevate a shot.
I gotta say, I was gonna mention earlier today, you know, this would have been my match of the night, but it's clearly just gonna be a 7-2 for IG, so maybe it's better that it's not. Without a doubt, this is the match of the night. This is if you watch one game from today, this is the game that you watch. What a rivalry between these teams. What a showing we've had from all of these players, from Nate in particular, who, I mean, the rest of the servers now finally caught up with him. I mean, to have an ace clutch, to have a 1v3 clutch from Speakeasy, the absolute scenes that we have witnessed in this match. I mean, it's about to come to a head. And as it reaches its apex, only one team can win the head-to-head.
Yeah, and Elevate have taken a bit of time here trying to get in towards the Karaoke T side, of which IG are wanting to hard contest. You can see there are players hanging out in the T room and potentially a sitting duck right there. Mental is so lucky to be alive. That frag grenade just an inch too much into the hallway, which of course is actually hard 4. It's blocked enough of that damage for him to stay alive. And this is further delaying Elevate taking this map control, which could be really pivotal in the way the rest of this round plays out.
This is only T room. Bomb site's a hell of a long way from here. Elevate are playing very meekly right now. They know exactly where this player is, and it just takes one bullet to finish him off. Mentalist goes down after wasting 2 minutes and a hell of a lot of utility. Invictus can sit pretty. They can be happy. They just got to hold the site now. A 4v5 isn't too grim.
And that's one of the plays that you just don't see on the scoreboard, right? Mentalist just burned 2 minutes on the other side of the map, and that's actually huge. That is so much vital time on an attack of Skyscraper on this side at that. So really huge for Mentalist to have done so. Even though there's a man disadvantage right now for IG, they are certainly favored coming to this final 30 seconds. 7-7 is the scoreline. Elevate, they have a man advantage. They push forward, Dev.
And look at that execute. Perfect timing on the peak from Elevate. But Jigsaw gets one back. Traded. 3v4 now for the defense as IG try and hold on for their 6th match point attempts against Elevate, who have made the comeback of a century on a Geary win fight. Can't get the seconds. Hysterics. Can he deny the plant? Where is it? He can't see it. He's desperately flailing in blindness. And Jigsaw makes it a 1v1. DCH has to win it, but Jigsaw!
No way!
The quad kill! And GG is called. It took them 6 tries to close the game. And it came down to the last round. And the last player. But Jigsaw can clutch up. And I have never seen Invictus look more stressed.
Oh my god. I don't think anybody in this entire server in Twitch chat, I'm sure everybody feels equal stress right now. That final 20 seconds was ridiculous and very